The quiet wealth of Cape Town's Constantia was shattered on September 28, 2023. Police lights flashed across manicured lawns as officers surrounded a luxury estate, closing in on a woman who had always seemed untouchable. Her name, Nicole Johnson. To most, she was just the glamorous wife of a gangster. But behind closed doors, she was far more, the architect of one of South Africa's most intricate criminal empires. Nicole built her kingdom on fear, influence, and control, using everything from construction contracts to pill networks to secure power. But no matter how high she climbed, a fall was inevitable. As dawn broke over Constantia's green streets, calm turned to chaos. Dozens of police cars swarmed a lavish property long rumored to be a secret hideout. News outlets buzzed, headlines screamed, and neighbors whispered in disbelief. Behind those gates, Nicole Johnson's empire was crumbling. Origins. Nicole's story began long before the raid. She grew up in the Western Cape, a place where wealth and struggle coexist. Opportunities were scarce, and survival often meant bending the rules. From a young age, Nicole was ambitious. She hustled small jobs and side businesses, never content with ordinary life. Then she met Ralph Stanfield, the infamous 28's gang boss, a man both feared and revered. What began as partnership in crime became a union of power. Nicole handled logistics, money, and travel, proving her worth at every turn. Soon, Ralph realized she wasn't just useful, she was essential. Together, they built a shield of authority, a facade of legitimate business masking a network of corruption. The double-life Nicole's company, Glomix House Brokers, became the jewel of their operation, winning multi-million rand projects across Cape Town. But behind the clean paperwork were whispers of forged credentials, intimidation, and fraud. Even while Ralph was behind bars, Nicole expanded their empire. She bought luxury homes, managed salons, and ran real estate ventures, all while laundering money through complex property deals. To the public, she was a polished entrepreneur. To those who knew the truth, she was the quiet force behind a criminal machine. The exposure. Her name surfaced again when she was linked to the steroid trade and to the disappearance of businessman Brian Weinstein. In court, a former bodyguard testified that Nicole personally managed the smuggling of performance-enhancing drugs across borders. Leaked audio recordings later appeared to capture her discussing prices and routes, proof she wasn't just a bystander but the mastermind. Investigators followed the money, tracking irregular payments, shell companies, and fake tenders. Whistleblowers described threats, coercion, and contracts that never delivered. The walls Nicole had built to hide her secrets were beginning to collapse. The fall by 2023, the pressure was suffocating. Her beauty salons were losing business, her contracts were frozen, and the police watched her every move. Glomix House Brokers was eventually blacklisted, a public symbol of corruption and deceit. The empire that once inspired fear was now rotting from within. Then came betrayal. Former allies began talking, employees, rivals, even friends. Testimonies, leaks, and confessions tore down the last veil of secrecy. Nicole's world was unraveling, from the inside out. The arrest months of surveillance led to the Constantia raid. Before sunrise, elite police units surrounded her mansion. They broke through the gates, seizing boxes of weapons, documents, and electronics. Nicole Johnson and Ralph Stanfield were arrested on charges of racketeering, fraud, money laundering, and illegal firearm possession. The law had finally caught up to them. Her bail applications were repeatedly denied. Prosecutors argued she was too powerful, too connected, and too likely to intimidate witnesses. Wiretaps, bank records, and insider testimony sealed her fate, at least for now. The empire collapsed. As the case unfolded, Nicole's luxurious image clashed with her criminal reality. Businesses that once flourished crumbled overnight. Contracts were canceled, assets frozen, and partners fled. Even her family was drawn into the fallout. Relatives charged as accomplices, financial records seized, and accounts monitored. The financial fortress she'd built was collapsing piece by piece. For years, her influence had shaped Cape Town's underworld. Now, she was the center of a national scandal. The aftermath. The consequences reached far beyond Nicole's family. Social housing projects tied to her company were left unfinished. Ordinary citizens, the very people her empire exploited, paid the price for her greed. Her downfall became a turning point. Government watchdogs called for stricter oversight on tenders, real estate, and financial transparency. Nicole Johnson's case became both a warning and a lesson in how ambition and corruption intertwine. Nicole Johnson's story isn't over. Her trial continues in the High Court. But her empire of power, wealth, and illusion has already fallen. What began as a story of success and influence has become a cautionary tale of greed, betrayal, and inevitable justice. Even the strongest empires crumble when truth finally breaks through. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.